Welcome back to Houston Newsmakers, where we continue to focus on some of the mental health issues impacting our community. Joining me now is Charlie Weldon, the president and CEO of Family Houston, an organization that was founded in 1904, has been helping Houston families ever since. Good morning, Charlie. Good to see you.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. Before I want to get into the conversation about the mental health aspect, but first of all, let people know what your organization does, what the vision is.
Sure. So Family Houston, as you mentioned, we've been around since 1904. We were established after the Great Hurricane of 1900. There was actually a smallpox epidemic, and a lot of families noticed a lot of great need in the community. People just needed help. And so they came together and formed what is now today called Family Houston. So we have 118 years of history of providing services that stabilize, equip, and empower families.
That is quite the foundation. What about your organization was able to identify that mental health was something that was critical that needed to be dealt with as well?
Because we feel that mental health impacts every aspect of our lives. If you are having trouble putting food on the table, paying a light bill, you're unemployed, underemployed, that affects your mental health. And so that bleeds into every part of our programs, and it's really been a staple of our services since about the 1940s.
Isn't it true that a lot of people may be dealing with something that was related to mental health, but they don't know it?
Absolutely, absolutely. We have seen a lot of that what people were dealing with before the pandemic, just kind of the pandemic aspirated it, and they're just dealing with it a lot more now, that people don't recognize what anxiety feels like, or what depression feels like. And so people don't recognize that they might be suffering from mental challenges.
Through the years, as you've seen these ebbs and flows of higher levels of stress and anxiety, it sounds to me like, and we've had previous conversations to talk about the fact that it's among families, and when we talk about families, we're talking about everybody in that family, including students who are young and may not have a way to articulate it.
That's absolutely right. We actually work with kids as young as 3 years of age. So we have some clinicians that are play therapy certified. So where you and I will use language to express ourselves, they use play to express themselves. So we have a variety of toys, whether it's, a doll house, or a gun, or a sand tray where they, can just, really kind of dig in, and just while they're playing, they somehow can, express themselves to a clinician. They're trained to be able to recognize the nonverbal language of what they're trying to cope with.
I would never have believed that we start that early.
We start that early.
With some of these issues. So we deal with that from the youngest to the oldest, the ones who are the quote caregivers. The stress and anxiety would seem to me would be even greater for them. And how do you reach out to them, and how do you make it available for them to reach out to you?
So we do a lot of online support groups as well. We do some Facebook Live events to try to engage people, to recognize that we're here for them. Because sometimes, mental health, there's still a little bit of a stigma behind it. We're trying to break down that stigma. To me, the words "I need help" are the bravest words anybody can say. And so we try to get people to that point to recognize it's okay to ask for help. It's okay not to feel like you're doing everything perfectly. We're not perfect. We're human beings. And so we try to create a safe environment for people to come and ask for that help. But sometimes it is very hard for people to recognize or to say, "I need help." And so we just try to be there and as softly as we can and be ready for them when they're ready.
There's a national commercial. I'm not sure what it's actually all about at this point, which probably means it's not really a great commercial, but it does show this guy who's under this tremendous weight, and the guy comes up and says, "You need help with that?" "No, I got this, I got this." And that mental health is that way.
That's exactly mental health. We try and we try and we try, and then before we know it, we're like, why is my heart racing all the time? Why am I sweating all the time? Why am I insomnia? And that is signs of just anxiety, and people just, we try to be strong and we try to be brave. And, with the pandemic, there's a lot of individuals that suddenly you're working from home and you've got kids running around and you're trying to care for a grandparent in the house as well. And there just was so much that compounded it that people didn't stop and take the time that they needed for what we call self-care. The meditation, the going for a walk yourself, just being able to calm your mind, to be able to be present in yourself. it's almost like, you know, when you're on a plane and the stewardess says, you know, take care of yourself first and then put the mask on somebody else. We do need to take care of ourselves, and that seems to be the one thing we tend to forget to do.
You've been there for a long time. Your organization's been there for a long time.
I haven't been there since 1994.
I know. I'm going to say, Mike, you look great for that. Your organization's been there for a long time, helping people. How do you want them to reach out to you for help?
That's excellent. So we are, you can follow us on Facebook, go on our website, www.familyhouston.org, very simple. We're on Twitter. Please reach out to us. We are just a phone call away, and we're there ready to assist.
This has been a fascinating segment, talking about those kinds of needs. A lot of people may not know about the challenges you may have, but you just talked about anxiety, some things that all are part of mental health. So thank you so much. I'll put the Family Houston contact information on the Newsmakers page on click2houston.com, and hopefully it can help provide help for someone or some family that needs it.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me today.
Thank you, Head. Thank you as well.